Good afternoon, Rabun County. You know who it is. It's Roger Glenn with Boss Realty. Doing another in our series of videos telling the story of Rabun County sort of through the people, the businesses, and the organizations of free community service that Laura and I do with the help of Scott Foss. So if your business or organization has an interesting story or a story to tell, then get in touch with us and we'd love to film something like this. Today, we are really happy to be here with Scott Lowe, who's the owner-operator of Hatch Camp and Art Farm.
That's right. You got it.
I start with the really hard stuff.
All right.
First, where are you located?
We are located at the corner of Earl's Ford and Joe Speed Road, out about 15 minutes east of town.
Yep.
Out of War Woman.
Yep, so you take War Woman Road and you head east, and GPS directions, I can tell you, are pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there is a Hatch Camp pin on Google.
There you go.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
A really cool place that you have here, but will you tell us just a little bit about your story with how you started the camp?
Yeah, so for the longest time I was a touring musician and met all kinds of fun, crazy people and played at all kinds, everywhere from breweries to dive bars to everywhere. And you know, I always have loved hosting concerts and putting on events and stuff. And somewhere in the middle of that, I started fly fishing. So I kind of tried to mold them together. So when I was out touring playing music, I'd fish all over the place. And that's kind of how I figured out how to do fly fishing. And then we needed to buy a property and settle down and have some babies. And we found Hatch Camp here. And so I kind of was able to mold all of my loves together with kind of the common goal of creating a space for happiness and like fun and family and but also supporting the art of music and actual folk arts and all kinds of different kinds of ceramics. We have all kinds of art shows out here quarterly when there's not a pandemic going. But you know, so we do guided fly fishing out here, and we have concerts and we have art shows, and we do we have an Airbnb bus, and we have little camping areas, and we got lots of kids activities. We got a beach and swing sets and all kinds of stuff. So it's we do lots of things, and it's a lot of fun. But you know, it all comes down to you know, supporting culture and art and happiness and finding happiness and peace out here fly fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the best way for folks to keep up with all the stuff you have going
probably
on?
the Facebook or Instagram page. We're pretty readily available with what's going on out here. We haven't really done a whole lot of concerts with the pandemic going on, but I see some coming probably this year. I just don't know when I'm ready to have a bunch of people in my front yard yet.
We'll try to replicate all that stuff on our park bench site.
Yeah, totally. Awesome.
As well. So, how much acreage do you have total on here?
It's just shy of 8 acres, but it's actually split between, Joe Speed runs through the middle of it. So it's a long 4 acres here along the creek, long skinny, and then a big triangle up the mountain on the other side of the road. And they're really the only part of camp. I mean, our house is up there, but we have a little fly shop on the other side of the road, which we're actually working to flesh out a little bit more.
Yeah. Now, is there an online store for the fly shop?
Not yet.
I mean,
We'll post on our Instagram and Facebook page specials on flies. If something's working and I'm cranking them out, then you know I'll do dozen flies for $20 or something, or you know, do a deal. And it's either seasonally or even for holidays. I'll do a holiday dozen, you know, or whatever. You know, try to.
Okay.
But we do so much guided fly fishing and teaching people to fly fish here that I can barely tie enough flies for that and the fly shop. So I'm actually kind of looking for if you know how to tie flies, you can come talk to me. I will probably buy them.
Hey, that's the first. Help wanted.
Yeah.
Right
A little bit. Or if you're a good fly fishing guide, or you can do both. We might need some help.
Now, you get a mix of people from Rabun County and surrounding areas, as well as people coming in from out of town?
Yeah, I mean, we've had people from all over the world. It's crazy. I just guided a guy from Italy last week. But we have, I would say a lot of our clients come from south of here because the trout water kind of stops right south of here.
Yeah.
And so people want to come catch trout, so they have to get I mean, there is like below the Buford Dam on Lake Lanier down in the Chattahoochee, there is some trout down there, and that's a great fishery. Like if you're close to Atlanta, that's your closest water probably. But
it's not as pretty.
It's not as pretty. You should come see us.
Yes.
But you know, so a lot of people come north. A lot of people don't come south though. I feel like because there's more bigger, better water. I feel like as you go north, trout are cold water fish. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So fly fishing is for trout.
Yes, mainly. I mean, you can catch any fish on a fly rod. People catch tarpon on fly rods, you know. But
yep.
Like,
but what can they catch here?
You can catch trout. I mean, there's a few other like bait fish, and you'll find some. Every now and then, you'll see some weird bluegill make its all the way up here or something. But for the most part, we got rainbow trout and brown trout, and the occasional like unicorn brook trout will show up. Most of the folks say around here, you're not going to find a brook trout under 2,500 feet. They like a little colder water. They like to be left alone too. They're a little kind of loners, like living up in the hills.
Reclusive fish.
Yes, they really just don't like the rainbow trout and brown trout, which were introduced by sportsmen, you know. So, but that's a whole nother special.
That's another show. And you were saying you actually have a lot of video content on YouTube. I always like to promote video content.
So we have a YouTube channel, Trout Bum Troubadour, which we've been putting out little episodes where we take musicians fly fishing. Like we'll have little concerts and then take them fishing the next day, or take them fishing and then have a concert. And we have a few episodes up there. And we also have some good tutorials like on fly fishing, like some simple knots and like why we wear waders and like what is a fly rod, and you know, like stuff that like if you want to get into the sport, you know.
So I was going to ask you. So it's really from beginner to expert.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the youngest person I've got to catch a fish was 6, and I think the oldest was like 87 or 8. And I mean, male, female. I will tell you, the females usually do better out here, honestly. So, ladies, come on. Like, I don't know why it is, but I swear, wives, girlfriends, moms always outfish the other ones. I don't know what. I don't know if it's some pheromone thing going on or something. Actually, I have a theory that females are a little more patient and a little more gentle with fly fishing. And if you're strong with fly fishing, you scare fish.
They don't suffer from testosterone poisoning.
No.
You gotta catch a fish to prove your masculinity.
I mean, and like also we're out here fishing with like 2 to 4 pound tests to possible 6 to 8 pound fish. So if you're too heavy handed, your fly is probably being taken by the fish.
Yeah, cool.
To another location.
And then the last question for reservations. So you're talking about the Airbnb to bus and whether it's guided things or camping, and I know you do the events, and it's kind of
it's all pretty much through Facebook and Instagram. I mean, we do have Hatch Camp and Art Farm at gmail.com, and you can also find our phone number out there on the internet too if you really need to talk to somebody. But definitely, like, I try to keep my Facebook messages pretty replied to, so definitely send us a message, and I can send you rates, and we can talk dates, and we can get you. I got all the gear you need: rods, waders, boots. You know, we're about to the time of season where you don't need waders, and the water feels great, and it's so awesome to stand in that creek all day and fling flies around.
Therapeutic.
Yeah, and I mean, just the sound of the creek is kind of, it's so crazy that my son has a noisemaker that he sleeps with, and it has the exact sound on it. You know,
I just thought of one last thing, if I can.
Yeah, man.
And it's ironic that the dogs started barking. I assume that you're pretty pet friendly out here.
We actually we're really not, because a lot of dogs are not good with fishing.
Okay.
And also our dogs, as you can hear, patrol the camp for intruders.
They don't need any help.
Yeah, and Skelly, our blue heeler, is the queen. So, you know, we will allow some exceptions, but for the most part, we're not really dog friendly, because we actually have a third dog that roams around here too, and she's an old lady. So we try to keep it, you know. There's not a whole, and there's a road right here, and not a lot of space for the dogs to roam free if they don't live here. So. Okay. Yeah.
Well, Scott, thank you very much for taking time to talk to us. It's a very cool place out here if you have not been. Come out,
Yeah.
learn fly
Yeah.
fishing, hone your craft,
Yeah.
get
See-
into music,
see some
art.
music, art, yeah, and just enjoy the beauty of these mountains.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's only really about 12-minute drive
Oh,
from
yeah.
Clayton, and it's a pretty drive out War Woman Road.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Thank you, good
Yes, sir.
brother.
Thank you.
It was good to
Yeah,
meet
man.
you. Raven County, we'll see you next time.